Hello, my name is Jose Gutierrez, and we are going to talk. Hello, my name is Jose Gutierrez, and in the next presentation, we are going to talk about AI implications on nation stability as a consequence of increasing inequality and job losses. How long do you think it will take for a machine to do better your job than what you are doing now? How are we going to react as individuals, citizens, and countries to the new AI revolution? In his book, AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley, and a New World Order, carefully explores the genesis of AI. Lee explores how AI has transformed the way we interact with each other, we interact with our jobs, and how we derive meaning from our jobs. Lee argues that AI will bring a new world order that will tilt the scale towards China. However, Lee fails to explore how AI has a harmful consequence in which increasing job losses and increasing inequality creates unstable societies that it could later manifest in political and social unrest. First, AI is defined as intelligence that can be observed in machines similar to what we find in animals and humans. Throughout history, there has been several revolutions. First, from the invention of the wheel that revolutionized transportation to the Industrial Revolution that allowed nations to increase output without increasing human capital. These past revolutions have helped the world to transform from an agricultural-based economy into industrial-based economy and what most economies are now, which is service-based economy. Artificial intelligence, however, is different because it tries to find the cognitive side of the equation. Artificial intelligence tries to combine the automation that we found as a result of the Industrial Revolution with new cognitive abilities that will be expressed by machines. This means that machines will not only be able to help in production, but they will also be able to help in decision making and the day-by-day operations on these facilities. Thus, machines will be able not only to produce the goods, but also to administrate and play several key functions within the production of these goods and services. Then the question becomes, what will be the place of human labor in this new economy? Well, machines can only optimize. They are not able to create. However, we will see job losses across every single sector in society. For instance, food production will see the loss of more than 60% of jobs in the next 15 years. But teaching, which requires a high level of cognitive abilities, will only see less than 30% of jobs decrease. This massive job loss will put a lot of pressure on countries as unemployment rates rise. Countries will be unable to maintain social and political stability, and there will be a strain on the social programs. However, there's even a bigger problem with artificial intelligence, which is the concentration of power and the increase of inequality. Artificial intelligence has one key cycle, which is data more increases computer power. Companies that are able to produce massive amount of data, like Google, Facebook, Amazon, or Tencent in China, will be able to develop better artificial intelligence technology. This will create a vicious cycle in which small and medium businesses will not be able to compete in the AI sphere. This will create massive amounts of wealth concentration and power concentration in huge technologies and a handful of people that control these technologies. However, AI will hit the hardest in the development ladder. In the past, countries have been able to develop through a series of steps that heavily involve manufacturing. For instance, South Korea and Singapore were able to develop because they had a low skill and cheap pool of labor. In the past, less developed countries were able to leverage that labor pool to attract manufacturing and then develop into highly competitive economies. However, artificial intelligence destroys that path and leaves no clear path for development for a lot of countries around the world. This will increase inequality at a global scale as the distance between rich and poor countries increases. Job losses and inequality will also have a deep effect in political cycles and political stability overall. Let's take, for instance, the 2016 US election. In the past 20 years, we have seen a decrease in the amount of jobs in the manufacturing sector in the US. However, we also have seen an increased output and increased revenues from manufacturing. This means that most of the displacement of these jobs is a consequence of automation. In a 2017 Review of Economics paper published by Oxford University, students found that there was a strong correlation between the way people voted in the 2016 election and automation. For instance, the paper found that with 10% less exposure to automation in Michigan, that state could have turned to Hillary Clinton instead of Trump. This applies to most of the Rust Belt, which was key for Trump's victory. This means that as automation and AI increase their foot in the global labor market, there will be a large segment of the population that will feel left out of the new economy. This segment of the population will have a lot of economic anxiety and most likely try to put their hopes into political leaders that promise to turn back time into a time with less disruption, which might not even be possible at all. In conclusion, artificial intelligence is one of the biggest challenges of the 21st century. As inequality increases and job losses become the mainstream, governments will be under a lot of pressure to keep political and social stability. This AI revolution is unlike anything we have seen before, as it not enhances human productivity. It tries to replicate human intelligence and then substitute human intelligence. These implications will have deep and meaningful impacts in the way we organize ourselves around work and the way we see ourselves as citizens, as nations, as individuals. However, this is also an opportunity. We are in the early stages of AI development, and we have the possibility to create frameworks that work for everyone. Frameworks that make AI development more inclusive, that trickle down the economic and social gains of artificial intelligence to everyone around any given society. This is the challenge of the leaders of tomorrow and the citizens of today on how to make AI